Now we'll go to law 4. Law 4 states that when a body slides on another, the friction called into play is slightly less than the limiting friction. Okay, when the body slides on another, if the body is sliding on another, when the body slides on another, the friction called into play is slightly less than the limiting friction. During this time, it is slightly lesser than the limiting friction. Now go to the law 5. When a body slides on another, same way, the friction called into play is independent of its relative speed. How speed the particle, how speed it is moving, that is not dependent upon the friction, does not depend upon the speed. Okay, when a body slides on another, it is sliding on another, the friction now it is naturally there will be friction, and this friction is independent of the relative speed. Okay, that is the fifth law. So of the 5 laws, the first 3 laws is known as law of static friction, means when the object is at rest. First 3 laws talks about when the object is at rest, therefore it is known as the static friction. Other 2, when a particle is moving. So moving particle, we are talking about the moving particle. When the particle is at rest, it is different. When the particle is moving, it is different. So when the particle is moving, we are talking about first law 4 says that the friction called into play is slightly less than the limiting friction. So it is lesser than the limiting friction. Law 5 says that when the object is in movement, the friction is independent of the relative speed of the object. So these 2 talks about the movement of the particle, therefore it is known as the laws of dynamic friction. Okay, these 2 laws are known as laws of dynamic friction. Other 1, 2 and 3 is known as static friction. So in this 3 laws talks about when the object is at rest. Now we'll discuss about resultant of 2 forces on a particle. Okay, when 2 forces acts, what will be the resultant? Okay, if the particle is acted upon by 2 forces, so this particle is acted upon by 2 forces, F1 and F2. There are 2 forces acting on the body, then F1 plus F2. Okay, F1 F2 is called a resultant force on the particle. F1 plus F2 is known as nothing but resultant. Okay, it is known as the resultant force on the particle. Now we'll see bookwork. Okay, bookwork 1 means which is related to this, right? So to find magnitude and direction of the resultant of F1 and F2, what you are going to find? To find the magnitude and direction of the resultant of F1 and F2, right? So we are going to find out what is the magnitude of resultant. Not yet started. Okay, so we will see 2 forces acting on the object. Now we are taking F1 plus F2. Okay, this is the resultant. What is this? Resultant. The angle between F1 and F2 is alpha. So we'll draw the figure. This is F1 and F1 plus F2, and this is another force F2. There is a force F1, there is a force F2. Okay, this is F1 plus F2. Force F1 is there, force F2 is there. This is resultant F1 plus F2. So we can complete the parallelogram, right? We complete the parallelogram, right? And this is the force. We have to see the arrow mark force F1. This is force F2. This is force F1 plus F2. Angle between these two forces. Angle between these two forces is alpha. Angle between the resultant and F1 is theta. Fine. Now we are going to see the angle between F1 and F2 is, what is F1 and F2 is alpha. Then the magnitude of F1 plus F2. What is the magnitude of F1 plus F2? That is nothing but dot product. F1 plus F2 dot F1 plus F2 dot product, okay, square root of this, the magnitude, that is modulus of A, right, equal to A dot A, okay, A dot A, you will get a dot product, right, square root of A dot A, right, we know that is modulus of A square equal to A dot A. This is the formula we are having. Modulus is A. Modulus of A equal to A dot A, square root of A dot A, right? Which is ordinary multiplication. F1 dot F1, okay, plus F1 dot F2 plus F2 dot F1 plus F2 dot F2, right? And this will be equal to F1 square plus 2 F1 F2, okay, cos of angle between these two is alpha plus F2 square, right? We'll go to next one. What we have seen in the previous session is modulus of F1 plus F2 is nothing but F1 dot F1, that is F1 square okay, F1 dot F1 is F1 square, F2 dot F2 is F2 square plus F1 dot F2, that is 2F1 F2 cos of angle between them. Cos of angle between them is alpha. So this is what we got, right? And then suppose where what is modulus of F1? We have taken simply F1. Modulus of F2, we have taken F2. Let theta be the angle between F1 and the resultant F1 plus F2. Then the previous board we have seen now, board 4. This is board 4. Can you see? Theta is the angle between F1 and F1 plus F2, right? Okay, what we have seen is if theta is the angle between F1 and F1 plus F2, then tan theta equal to, we know that F1 cross, this is the formula, F1 cross F1 plus F2 divided by dot product F1 dot f1 plus f2, right? How we got this? What is A cross B? A cross B is modulus of A modulus of B sin theta into n cap. If you take modulus, okay, this n cap won't come, right? Now we'll take modulus of, no need of modulus, no, A dot B we are taking. So no need of modulus. A dot B equal to modulus of A modulus of B into cos theta. So tan theta means all these two gets cancelled. Modulus of A cross B by A dot B. That is what we have written, modulus of A cross B by A dot B, right? So we got tan theta here. Then this will be F1 cross F1, that is 0, plus F1 cross F2, okay, modulus is there, don't forget, by F1 dot F1 is F1 square plus F1 dot F2 modulus of F1 modulus of F2 into cos of angle between them. Cos of angle between them is cos alpha. So this will be modulus of F1 cross F2. This is modulus of F1 cross F2, right? This one, this F1 cross F1 is 0. This one is 0, right? This one is equal to 0. So modulus of F1 cross F2 divided by F1 square plus F1 F2 into cos alpha, right? What is F1 cross F2? We'll see in the next board. That is modulus of F1 modulus of F2 sin of angle between them. Sin of angle between them is alpha into n cap, whose modulus divided by, okay, F1 F2, what we are saying in the previous one, F1 square. Let me see in the previous board. F1 square, I think. F1 square F1 square plus F1 F2 cos alpha. That is what we have seen, right? A modulus of F1 and modulus of F2 sin alpha into n cap by F1 square plus F1 F2 cos alpha. So this will be F1 F2 sin alpha, because we are taking only modulus, then F1 square plus F1 F2 cos alpha. So we can take F1 outside, okay, and cancel it off. So if you take F1 outside and cancel it off, what you will get? This will be equal to F2 sin alpha divided by F1 plus F2 cos alpha, right? This is what we have seen, tan theta, okay? Therefore theta equal to tan inverse of F2 sin alpha divided by F1 plus F2 cos alpha, right? Now we will see the corollary. Corollary 1. What is corollary 1? If F1 and F2 are of equal magnitude, say F, then. So F1 F2 are equal magnitude, okay? Say F. So modulus of F1 plus modulus of F2 equal to, F1 is F1D, right? So F square plus F2 is also F. So F square plus 2 F1 F2, F1 into F2 is F square into cos alpha to square root, right? So F1 into F2, right? F1 square